All right, day number 8 of the 27-day mobility challenge here at the Reprogram. Welcome back. And we're moving on with our lower body active standard templates. These tools that you can use to screen your hip mobility and see whether or not you are performing the way you should be. Whether you are an athlete or not, this is generally what I'd like to see particularly, or what we like to see in a functional lower body, okay? And if you can perform these drills, then you are at the lowest risk of these common injuries like hip impingement, knee problems, lower back pain, and so on and so forth, okay? So yesterday we did the active pigeon pose, which was a test of that hip flexion and hip external rotation angles. And you can see how that movement would relate to the restrictions you may have had in the squat. Today we are going to look at the adductors, specifically abduction mobility, okay? Now length in the adductors is extremely important for a number of things. We need length in the adductors for adequate hip extension. We need length in the adductors for adequate hip flexion, internal, external rotation. And even though these adductors are, when our feet are on the floor, planted, the adductors play a huge stabilization role. But when we actually have any like lateral shift in the hip, particularly in that frontal plane, we require a lot of stabilization in the actual ball and socket hip joint. So with tight adductors, we're going to have minimal abduction or lateral stabilization. So support from the gluteus medius, the TFL, the sartorius, so on and so on. Okay, so I'm going to show you a movement called the Spiderman. That's what I use to assess adductor length. The Spiderman is a really good active tool to quickly monitor or diagnose whether someone's got adequate ankle mobility in that frontal plane, good control of the frontal plane gradient, which you will see in a minute as I go left to right. And yeah, so I'll put you down and I'll demonstrate this movement for you now. All right, so I'm going to come down to you. So starts with, this is what optimal adductor mobility looks like, all right? So here we go. Feet, hands on the feet, feet must be facing forward. We're going to slide down to one position. So already this is going to be challenging for a lot of you, okay? The feet must stay forward. If we allow the feet to turn out, we switch the emphasis from the adductors to the hamstring. We don't want that. We want to keep that foot turned in, keep the emphasis on the adductor muscles, okay? Right, so from here, you're going to start, again, look at the ankle requirements here. So similar to the squat, this is what we're kind of looking at, this third of a foot over the toe, right? So my hips are pretty much directly just behind my ankle joint. So from here, I'm going to grind across into the other position, all right? So this is, and you can see why it's called the Spiderman. Pretty cool, huh? And just as a note, you may have seen this from such athletes like the Chinese monks, the Shaolin monks. The Shaolin monks call this the pubu, this position, and they use it to mobilize their adductors and warming up for high kicks, things like axe kicks, high roundhouses and things, and it just really allows them to scour across that medial inside hip pocket. So as I go across, I can really feel the muscles working to stabilize me because, again, it's active. I'm not doing anything passively at all, okay? Big stretch on here, so it's big lengthening. I'm still loading it with my body weight, so it's getting a really good stimulus, and I can really feel on the outside of the hips, I'm just really able to sit in that pocket, really nice, deep. I can't really feel that there's much left unless I split my feet apart wider, but I don't want to go any more wider because I don't want my feet to roll away. Like I want to try and keep my feet flat on the floor, all right? Again, we're not trying to do anything like the box splits here. We're just trying to screen for adequate adductor control and mobility, okay? Because the real reason we want that length is to be able to engage the abductor muscles. So we have that length to engage the abduction, and of course if we've got that abduction control, it also means we have internal rotation space, okay, in a functional sense. I know I don't like using that word functional, everything's functional depending on what you're using it for. All right, so this is an optimal adductor and groin length test, if you like. All right, now, what does it look like if you're gonna fail? Like I said, a lot of you are gonna have trouble coming down here. You're gonna probably, a lot of you are gonna be holding yourself up and you'll be like kind of quite high. I like to, as a coaching cue, I like to say, imagine you've got a string line above your hip, okay? That's what I like, a string line, and you're not allowed to touch it. So a lot of you will go up really high and then come down, up really high and then come down, but it's not that. You want to keep that string line above the hip, and imagine you're not allowed to touch it. So you've got to keep the hip low, scouring across, and you'll really feel the mobilization on the inside of that hip in there. And again, adductor length is really important for clearing things like hip impingement, particularly for you martial artists, anterior hip impingement and hip impingement on the lateral side, okay? Particularly when you're trying to go for that chamber position, if you don't have enough space in the hip for that pelvis to roll laterally, you're going to get a nasty pinch of tissues on the lateral side, and it really can demotivate a lot of athletes. But it's important for everyone. That space is really important. Okay, so that is a Spider-Man. Yeah, like I said, some of you are going to be really high. Some of you are not going to have this ankle mobility, so you won't even be able to come down here without falling backwards, or you'll need to hold on to something. But that's the screen. Give it a go. And if you enjoy what I do and you like what I'm talking about, if you're interested, check me out, www.thereprogramonline.com, and you can find out more about what I do there and how I can help you. See you tomorrow. Check this out.
Hi there, I'm Andrew Graham, founder of the Reprogram Online, and if you're here, it's likely because you are feeling the frustration of a body that just isn't performing the way it used to. Maybe it's a nagging joint pain, the frequent injuries, or the simple truth that despite all your efforts, you're not seeing the results you desire. As a busy professional, I understand how valuable your time is. You want a body that not only performs well, but one that you can enjoy and that you know is capable of handling whatever life throws your way. Yet, finding the right path in today's fitness industry is like navigating an untamed jungle of misinformation, quick fixes, and empty promises, often leaving you frustrated or worse. That's why I created the Reprogram, a comprehensive training system designed to not only build a strong athletic physique, but to do it in a way that prioritizes injury prevention, joint health, and longevity. By merging concepts from physical therapy and strength and conditioning, the Reprogram targets and alleviates the very issues that are keeping you from moving forward. Starting with our free mobility assessment, we will identify these issues, as well as your potential risk of injury, and design your training program based on your results. You see, many people think they need more, but often what they really need is better. It's not about lifting the heaviest weight or doing endless reps. It's about focusing on what truly matters so that you can build a body that's not only aesthetic, but resilient. A body that works with you, not against you. The Reprogram is built for men who understand that their body is their most valuable asset and who refuse to let joint pain and past injury dictate their future. Using the 3-stage training system, you'll regain your mobility, correct muscle imbalances, and improve your posture, all with minimal equipment. I mean, imagine a life where you're not just managing pain, but actually eliminating it and getting stronger every day. Believe me, I understand the frustration of trying to stay active when your body seems to resist every step. But with the right approach, that frustration can quickly turn into fuel for change. The Reprogram is designed to respect your time and deliver results in a way that actually teaches you about your body. So, are you ready to break the cycle and unlock your potential? Then I invite you to start your journey today. Remember, this is about you, investing in your future, your health, your quality of life. Click the Get Started button to begin your free mobility assessment. I'm Andrew Graham, and I'm here to help you banish pain, optimize mobility, and unleash strength, one step at a time. Let's get started.